Hey guys, Tech Timmy here. So as an early adopter of Amazon Alexa, I have owned pretty much every generation Echo device that there is. But with all of the options available today, I realized that figuring out the right Echo for you can be a little overwhelming. So in this video, I'm going to rattle off a few things that I like about each one of my devices and also something that really bugs me about each one, with the goal of helping you figure out which device is best for your home. So without further ado, let's get into the first one, the Echo Show 15. Let's go.
Oh boy, it's Tech Timmy time.
All right, just a couple quick notes before we dive in here. So first and foremost, this video is not scripted. I took some notes here for you guys, and I'm gonna go through as I do the rundown on each device. I'll also show you some B-roll of the different devices and where I have them set up in my smart home here, so you can get a feel in terms of actually what it looks like in the real world. Links to every device, I'm gonna leave them in the description down below. They're affiliate links if you use them. All proceeds go to support the channel. I appreciate that a lot. I'm gonna start with the big screen devices first, and we'll work our way down to some of the smaller ones, like the new Echo Dot Max here. So let's get into the Echo Show 15 here. So this is my largest smart display device. I have it mounted in the entryway to my kitchen, and these larger devices, so the Echo Show 15 and also the new Echo Show, I believe it's 21, so the Echo Show 21 are pretty much identical. The main difference being is that the 21 is bigger. That's it. So 21 inches diagonal. This one is 15 inches diagonal. The thing that I like the best about this, provides a nice little smart home dashboard. As I walk into my kitchen, I can see my calendar in the morning. I can see any critical news, and then also I can check the weather and so forth. And it's a really nice display, and it looks really good on the wall. Great conversation piece. I would say the thing that really bugs me the most about this is that it is rotatable. So the stand that it comes with allows you to rotate it, but it does not have a swivel stand. So in order to rotate, you actually need to take it off the wall and then put it that way. And then it's going to cooperate right now. Really? Hold on, I'll try it this way. There we go. So it did rotate, not available in portrait mode. So that's interesting. So that's something to do with Alexa Plus, which I guess is not available yet in portrait mode. Okay, so not probably enough said about that. So that would also be another nit. All right, guys, so next up we have the Echo Show 10/11. So 11 is the newer one that came out this year, 2025. And this one actually rotates on its own. So the 10 has a motorized rotating base that will follow you around the kitchen, which is equally creepy and cool, but I have appreciated it, particularly when I'm working on recipes and so forth. The newer one does not automatically follow you, but it is still rotatable and tiltable, which I think makes more sense. And I think Amazon realized that. For that, the follow me feature was, I think, to compete with the old Facebook Portal Plus, and it was more of just a gimmick. So that's my nit for this one. I will also include a link to the new Echo Show 11, which is basically, it's 11 inches diagonal instead of 10 inches diagonal. That's the main difference. It also sports a newer, their latest generation design with a different sort of base, which looks actually pretty nice. And I'm sure that functionality wise, they're both on par with each other. The newer one will have Alexa Plus early access out of the box. All right, and up next is the Echo Show 8. So I'm going to use my old Echo Studio here as a pillar, and I'll explain a little bit about that in a second. But I'm going to put that one up here next. And I think rather than me holding these devices in my hand and potentially dropping them on the floor, I'm going to hang on to the microphone here, and we'll do it this way. So the Echo Show 8 is my favorite by far. I would say of all of my Echoes, it's my favorite device. So this is the third generation. There's also a newer one of these that came out in 2025. Again, with the new design and also the newer chip, and it will also have Alexa Plus early access built in. All of my devices in my smart home, except for the earlier generation devices, automatically upgraded to Alexa Plus when I upgraded the first one. So that was awesome. And I was not expecting that my older devices would automatically update. So if you're concerned about getting access to her on some older devices, don't be, because that will happen eventually anyhow. The older first generation, this guy is not going to work with Alexa Plus ever. And also I will spell out her name throughout this video just so that you guys have a sense, so I don't set off your device at home. This is my favorite device because it's a great size. It sounds amazing, particularly as part of my multi-room music. And you compare, at least the older ones, you compare them with a nice stand. So this is a nice chrome type stand. And I have one of these on either side of my bed table, and it just looks awesome. I love it. And if you don't want to be surrounded by ALEXA devices, I get that. But I feel like this size versus something like the Show 5, in terms of a bedside device, particularly for me with bad eyesight, is just a little bit better. The size is better. So I really like that about it. What bugs me about it, not a lot, but let me just check my notes here. I did say something. So the bezels on the older models make it look just a little bit slightly dated compared to the newer one. I would say if you're going to go with the Show 8, go with the latest model because it allegedly has slightly better sound, and it also has, you're going to get no issues with getting access to ALEXA Plus, at least initially, and then you're going to get the latest and greatest look. So that's the Echo Show 8. And then moving right along, as I alluded to, so let me pull this one down here next, and I will put the Show 5 up next, which we covered. And most of these come in multiple colors now. And you can see this one at Echo Show 8, I paired with a stand, and I'm doing sort of this white theme in my living room and a darker theme in my bedroom. So now this device, it's cute. If you are a big fan of the ALEX devices or are on a tight budget, this could work as having a screen display. I keep a black one of this because I've got the black theme in my bedroom on my desk in the other room, and it's a nice little visual cue. It'll show you your current music that's playing and so forth, but good for smaller spaces. Again, I think a lot of people would say, oh, this is good for a bedside table. I like the Show 8 for my bedside table, but that's just me. You could also stick this on a bookshelf, say, and it worked just fine. The negatives on this, so I would say the main thing is the sound. The sound on this little device, which probably makes sense, is nowhere near as good as the Show 8 and most of the other devices, save one that has the absolute worst sound of them all, and I'll get into that in just a second here. But the sound on this is going to be a little bit tinny. It does sound up here with my multi-room music configuration course. I have most of these speakers going together at the same time with my multi-room setup, which it just sounds absolutely phenomenal, particularly with some of the higher end speakers that I'll show you in a second. So there is that, and I don't want this video to run too long, so I'm going to rifle through some of these other devices. Maybe we'll do a quick round of some of the non-screen devices here. But yep, so let's do that. So Amazon ECHO 4th gen. So this is the 4th gen Echo, and I have mine set up on a battery base. I love the look of this device, particularly on the base itself. The reason being is that it sounds amazing, and then with this cool Surtec battery base, and I'll also leave a link down below, I can take this outside, I can take this on the go, and the thing just works. I think this one is named Computer. Are you there? Look at that. So no wires, and she lights right up. In terms of negatives for this device, I forgot to walk this over and show you guys. My biggest problem with this is you can see something that looks like a stain on the front of it there. So that is just wear and tear. So this is roughly around 3 years old now. And I live on the ocean here, and the humidity can be a factor in terms of, and it shows blemishes on certain things. If you look at it like that, it looks fine, but you can probably see that there is a blemish on there that developed over time.
And you just mind your P's and Q's, Buster, and remember who you're dealing with.
Bueller. Ferris Bueller.
So that was a major bummer. So on this particular one, that is my main pet peeve. All right, and moving right along, so I'll jump into this next, and then I'll bounce back to the old ECHO Dot. So this is the Echo Dot Max. So this is Amazon's newest device, and I think I should walk this one over as well, because it is very cool looking. And so this also ships out of the box with ALEXA Plus, and it has this new sort of, I'm going to call it waffle type design that reminds me of some of the Apple devices, and it just looks awesome. This is a really cool looking device. I find it a little curious that they put the controls on the front, so now we have just volume up, volume down, and mute in the middle there. So I wish they put the controls on the top like all the other ones that we're used to. What's interesting is if you put this on a bookshelf, then, and it's a tight space, then you have access to the controls so you don't have to go in there. So that might be the rationale behind that. But the Dot, so this is the new Echo Dot Max. So this is the old Echo Studio. So the newer version of the Echo Studio is basically a larger version of this that will also come with ALEXA Plus, and that is will be Amazon's most premium sounding speaker. Some of my favorite speakers, I own 3 of these Echo Studios, and I would just say that in terms of overall sound quality, particularly with the multi-music configuration, they just sound amazing. So you can see there's another one on my bookshelf over here. I don't know if you can see that one. So there's another one there, and then I have this white one, and then I also have a charcoal one in the bedroom. But beautiful sounding devices. The newer model I have on order, so I have not received it yet. But again, it is going to look like the Echo Dot Max, but larger. So that's the Echo Studio. The thing, my biggest nit with the Echo Studio is they discontinued the old one because I have 3 of them, and I thought I was going to get another one, and now we have a whole new design. So that is interesting. You can pair, so with the Dot Max and also the Studios, you can pair them together to use as a surround sound system, say for your home theater setup. I use them for multi-room music, which I absolutely love and have going constantly in my crib. They act like a nice little symphony. So that's that. And so Echo Dot Max and then Echo Studio, those are 2 of the newer devices. The Show 11 has replaced the Show 10. You're going to get a little bit of a bigger screen. You're also going to get the newer design, faster chip, and presumably better compatibility with ALEX-A+. All right, so last but not least, oh, nope, so we have two left to go, 3 left to go. I'm gonna go really quick on these because I realize the video is getting long. So this is the prior generation Echo Dot compared to the Max, just a little bit smaller. What I like about these is that they're super lightweight. So that is the old ECHO Dot, the prior generation. The latest one, again, is the ECHO Dot Max. I think maybe, what is my nit about the Echo Dot? Hold on, let me just see. So that, I believe, is also the 5th gen. And I would just say the sound quality is good, but it's definitely not as good as the new Max. So the new Max is more expensive, but the sound quality is going to be a lot better than the old generations of Echo Dot. Now, speaking of sound quality, on this guy right here, so this is the Echo Pop. And this one is interesting in that, so it's just hard plastic coating. I would say that this is designed for if you're an ALEXA noob and you just want a smart speaker to get started and you don't really care about audio or you don't really care about the sound quality of your music all that much, then this is a good fit for you. It's cheap, might make sense to take to a dorm. You can use it to control your smart lights. You can use it for smart home control and so forth. I was just very disappointed with the sound quality of this guy overall. So that's my biggest nit on that. Comes in some fun colors and so forth. Again, I think that's designed maybe for college kids and so forth. The next one is a similar shape, but is another one of my absolute favorites here. And I said I wouldn't hold them. I was going to put them up on the podium here. Hold on. Another one of my absolute favorites here, and this is the Echo Spot. Now, this is a little beat up because I have it in a weird place in my bathroom, and I've dropped it a couple times. It's still going, but beautiful little device, sounds great. There's a limited number of things that you can do on the screen, so it will let you know what song is playing, it will show you the weather, and a couple of other visual cues, but without any of the ads and the other noise that comes along with a smart display, basically. So they took the things that annoyed people with the larger smart displays out of them, and they put this little guy here. The sound is great, it looks super elegant. I think in terms of, if you're looking for like bedside clock, I guess, and this one is nice in the bathroom because I have it sitting on a towel rack, and that's why it keeps falling. I need to get a little shelf for it, but it projects nicely when I'm in the shower. I can peek out the shower and look and see what's going on the screen and so forth. I absolutely love this device. So I would just say, in terms of wrapping things up here, I would say, what are my top 3? All right, so I would say top 3, as I just said, would be the Echo Spot. Make an absolute great gift for pretty much anyone on your list. Can use it as a bedside device, can use it as a shelf device. You don't have the ads, and it's just a beautiful looking little Echo device. Next one, I would say, and probably this is the order of my 3, 2, 1 top picks. Next would be the ECHO 8, super versatile. It's kind of the mid-range price point, so I would say probably affordable for most people, but it gets you out of the little itty bitty screen business and into something that you can actually read. Again, I have mine on 2 of my tables beside my bed, and they look amazing. I paired these with a Chrome stand, which is just phenomenal. The newer ones, I don't think that you need a stand, although I believe that you can still get them. Latest generation of this, I also have on order, and I will do more videos on that when I receive it. And then I would say, right now, my favorite device, and it's not what you would think. So it's not the ECHO 15, although this is up there. I do like it. And hey, look. So they lied to me about the... No, well, I thought, there we go. So there's the portrait display. Is actually the new Echo Dot Max. And the reason is that it takes the best of the HO device and the dock and combines them into this nice sort of modern package. And they also corrected this weird issue that they did with the darker devices having a white cord. So now the cord will match the color of the device that you buy. There's also a fun color in this one. I believe it's either purple or blue, and there's a white Arctic white model of this as well. So I'm thinking about getting another one of these for in here. And then with the new ECHO Studio, so that remains to be seen. I have that on order, but my old ECH Studios they're the star of the show in terms of my multi-room music. So as you can tell, I'm a little bit of an ALEXA fanboy, but I'm also not, because there are certain things with some of these devices that are just super annoying. And hopefully I've given you at least a general idea in terms of what some of the annoyances are versus some of the benefits, and that this video helps you guys out. Anyway, if you got any value from this video, would you mind smashing that button? Helps out the channel a lot, and I hope to see you in the next one. I do all sorts of videos about Miss A, or I should say Miss A Plus, and I hope to see you in the next video. I will do a more thorough review very soon of the ECHO.Max versus the old, just so you can compare the old one. Just you can still get them for sale on Amazon, so I figured that might be useful. And then also when the new Echo Studio comes in, and also my new Echo Show 11, I will do some videos on that as well. Links to everything's going to be down in the description, guys. And I realize this is a bit scattered. I feel like I had a lot of notes to get through, so hopefully this didn't go too long and helps you guys out. Anyway, see you in the next one. Cheers.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.